Welcome back. Welcome, everyone, to JW News Around the World. We're going to be looking at a couple of different things tonight, so stick with us. And later on in the evening, we have some entertainment. So, what we're going to try to do is do the news for an hour and then have an entertainment section. So, if you guys, anybody out there, wants to come on and get involved, be a part of the entertainment section. And if you have news, please email us or send it to my good wife. And I'll give you an email address that you can send this to for news. Let me see what I have here. A couple of sections. Okay, here we go. So yeah, you can send it to mail@xjw.tv. And it'll get to us eventually. How often does that get to us? Every day? Instantly?
As soon as it's sent.
As soon as it's sent.
Yeah.
So, okay, good enough. So if you have news or you want to get involved in entertainment tonight, just email us. mail@xjw.tv. Okay, so we have a special guest? No, not a special guest. We have Ruby. Ruby Quinn is on with us tonight.
Hey
So,
guys,
hello, Ruby.
how you doing?
I could look this way or I could look that way. Which is better? That way?
Which is your better
Or this way?
side?
Does that side look better or this side?
It's not changing for me, so you're on the
No?
same side of the screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, internet's slow tonight. Ruby, how's everything in Florida?
Oh, doing good. We already ate all of the Thanksgiving leftovers. And how was your Thanksgiving, guys?
Well,
We had that a month ago.
Yeah, we don't celebrate U.S. Thanksgiving.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah,
Ours is the first week of October. Right?
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't
didn't
know.
know that.
I haven't really researched all the significance of all these different Thanksgivings,
Mm-hmm.
but I always figured it had something to do with the farmers pulling in all their crops and harvest is done and the gardens are all done, so we're all ready for winter here by October, what, 1st?
No, about the 8th to the 13th, somewhere in there.
But when is Thanksgiving?
This year it was October 8th. It changes date.
Yeah, it changes.
Yeah.
So it's the first weekend of October,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice. Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Thanksgiving there is always on the same day in the U.S.?
I think so. I don't know if anybody in the chat can let me know because I'm new to these holidays, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
good.
have
So
no
you
idea.
had your Thanksgiving dinner today. Was it today?
It was yesterday. So today we ate
Yesterday.
all the leftovers. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
You
yesterday.
know what was interesting? We're in this new location. We've only been here probably not even a week, and there's a campground. They call it Gold Panners Campground, 5 minutes away down the road from us. We can't see them. It's all bush and valleys and stuff. But the other night, your Thanksgiving Day last night, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Or the night before.
What was last night?
So
Yeah, last night.
we thought someone was shooting a gun outside. So we
Oh,
went
wow.
outside. We heard crack, bang, 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 and then we heard it again, bang, 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 bang. And then we thought, oh boy, I wonder, should we go in and hide? And then all of a sudden we seen fireworks coming out of the bush, out of the
nice.
valley. And so then we put together, it's the U.S. Thanksgiving. So they were celebrating, and I guess they have a band and they have a big thing going on down there. That's what the caretaker just told me today.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are quite involved. So
Okay.
even Canadians are celebrating U.S. Thanksgiving up here in Canada.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
I thought
that's
that was interesting.
nice.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah,
lots of U.S.
everything.
people up here from the U.S. So
Right. Yeah, I've heard of that. A lot of
mhm.
people are moving out of the country. Some celebrities are moving out of the country. They said, "Oh, if Trump wins the election, then we're gonna move out of the U.S." And they actually did it.
Yeah.
Some
Really,
people went to the UK. Yeah, I think Ellen DeGeneres moved away.
really that quick, just
Oh
that
yeah.
quick.
They
Yeah,
already
another
got
actress.
back.
Mm. Well, they probably own multiple properties, so they just
You're
went
right.
from
It's easy for them to pick up and
yeah
leave.
these rich people. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
I've heard of that. But
yeah.
yeah, Thanksgiving was like it was really nice, but I didn't prepare myself correctly. I was
Mhm.
leaving everything to the last minute, hoping that Walmart would be open or Publix or a lot of,
Mhm.
supermarkets would be open, and they all closed for the
Really,
entire day. And I was like,
really
what the heck? Like, this is the United States of America. How you not gonna have a supermarket open? All of
in
them
the
were
big city.
closed. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is
It's like
crazy.
Christmas. Do they close on
Yeah.
Christmas? They do here. Most
Not even on Christmas do they close. They are
no.
always open and they just close a little early. So I was
Mm.
expecting that. But nope, everybody closed like indefinitely the whole entire day. So I was running all over town just trying to find an open store, and now I learned my lesson. I'm not I'm going to prepare myself next time.
Hmm. So here's what Jay says: Thanksgiving in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
is always on the last Thursday of November,
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
and ours is always on the first
Week of
or
October.
second Monday of October. I forget. I should look it up.
Yeah.
But I like you, Ruby. I
Yeah.
didn't really pay attention to these things much. All as a JW, you don't, right?
Right.
So, but as we
Right.
get
Yeah,
out,
exactly.
it's good to know the history. Now, just for the audience reference, I'm in I'm in Western time, so I'm at my time right now is 6:17. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
Eastern time, right?
Yeah, so it's 9:17.
9:17. So we have a 3 hour difference.
Mm-hmm.
We're all across the country, just for the audience reference. So, how is the
Mm-hmm.
weather in Florida today? How is the
It
weather down?
is, I mean, it's been in the 70s all week, but as soon as the sun goes down, like now, it is 59 degrees and it is cold. Like we consider that very cold.
Hmm. See, and we're sitting at, we just got a new thermometer that's wireless,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of proud of this
Oh, wow,
because
that's cool.
I can give
Hi,
you
Joe and Fran. Hi, Becky.
the U.S. There's the
Mm-hmm.
Canadian temperature. It
Mm-hmm.
looks backwards, right?
Uh-huh. So 22
Yeah.
Celsius and 39 or 39%.
So
Negative
it's zero.
0.
So it's 0 Celsius right now. So 22 is inside here. So I'm going to
Okay.
hit the Fahrenheit one now.
Yeah, hit the Fahrenheit.
Now this might make more sense to you.
Yeah, 31 outside, right? And then
Yeah,
72 inside.
yeah.
Oh, not bad. Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
but the
not too
outside is
cold.
crazy.
Is that too cold?
Oh, yeah. What? We cannot. And that's the bad part about us as Floridians. And I've been living here for 6 years and I still haven't bought winter clothes for when the winter comes. So we just kind of like hibernate because I
Hmm.
just don't buy no like sneakers, no jeans, nothing. I always have flip-flops, shorts, short
Hmm.
sleeves. So when we freeze, we really freeze because I don't buy no winter clothes.
Wow. Well, tonight I had an interesting day. We're in a new area here, and we're meeting new people. So it's quite interesting. I'm finding that some of the people up here are actually into the Bible.
Oh,
like
wow.
like I wasn't soliciting anything, and it just comes up. A lot of people. I don't know if this is a lot of people or some people, but lots of people are really worried. And so a lot of
Hmm.
people are reading the Bible and they're putting two and two together and they're saying, everything that they're seeing now is a sign of the times. It's here. Armageddon's here. It's the end. All
Mm-hmm.
of these kinds of things, right? So we're going to hear lots of this. I don't know what to make of it. I know that fear doesn't really help us a whole lot, but you know, this is where we have to pull together. But anyways, I think some of the news is quite interesting, and I think if I was sitting on the board of directors of JW.org, I would be a little concerned right now
Mm-hmm.
with some of the news that's out there. And what's going on in Norway is especially interesting. Did you have some news that you wanted to talk about tonight as well, Ruby?
Yeah, because I didn't actually read this letter, but did you see that letter? Because I
Yeah.
follow this guy on Twitter, John Frode Nielsen, and
Yeah.
he was a part of that whole Norway thing, and he posted
Jan.
this,
Jan is
but
his
I
name.
don't.
It's Jan.
Okay,
Jan Frode Nielsen.
Jan. Okay,
Yeah.
so he posted this,
Mhm.
and he writes, the lobby organization EAJW is not happy and want a meeting with the anti-discrimination ombudsman in Norway. Fascinating choice of words. And then this is the letter, but the solution is really bad. Like I can't read it. Okay, there we go. I think you can see it. Let's see.
Mhm.
Have you read this letter?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's on my Twitter feed as well because we subscribe to Jan Frode Nielsen, and Jan Frode Nielsen is the person in
Mm-hmm.
Norway. He's one of the individuals, but he's the main individual in Norway that spearheaded this whole Norwegian thing. So he's one of the five. There's five of them. So my good wife knows quite a bit about this,
Mm-hmm.
and so Jan Frode Nielsen is one of the five that has spearheaded this, and that they're keeping the government up on everything. They're doing a lot of work behind the scenes here. So you go ahead and read it. Let's read this whole letter. I think it's something we want to read.
Okay. Let me see if I can read it. I don't have my glasses here, but
Oh, I could read it. I could read it if you wish. I have it pulled up on mine, and you can just scroll it.
okay. Okay, go ahead.
It's up to you. Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So it says Mr. Bjorn Eric Thon. I don't know if that's Jorn Eric Thon.
Mm-hmm.
Equality and Anti-Discrimination Ombudsman, Kingdom of Norway. So he says, "Dear, this is the JW's writing this letter." Yeah,
Right.
this
Right.
this letter is from the European Association of Jehovah's Witnesses. Remember that new association they set up with what's the guy's name at the bottom? Jorgen Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Remember him? Yeah. Well, this is his work. So let's take a look at it. The European Association of Jehovah's Witnesses is a registered international association that provides support to the members of this faith community facing fundamental human rights violations in various parts of the world. Adherents of the persuasion are present in more than 200 lands, and they are recognized as law abiding citizens belonging to a peaceful religion. Okay, tongue in cheek, law abiding. Now, of course, this is their letter, right?
This is their letter.
Yep.
They don't shred letters or hide CSA or do any of those kinds of things, right? That's all
Mm-hmm.
just nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
according to this letter. Now, he goes on to say, we are taking the liberty of contacting you regarding their situation in Norway. On the 27th of January 2022, the county governor of Oslo and Viken announced an arbitrary unilateral decision to deny Jehovah's Witnesses state grants under the Religious Communities Act for the previous year. Do you notice this is all about state grants? They're not being denied preaching work. They can go door to door. They can be like
Right.
Jesus, carry on the preaching work. It's just about money. It's about that.
Exactly.
So, anyways, he goes on to say a decision that breaks with a 30-year practice. Jehovah's Witnesses applied to the Ministry of Children and Families, which on the 30th of September 2022 informed them that it upheld the decision. This is troubling in itself. And what gives additional grounds for serious concern is that on December of 2022, the county governor revoked Jehovah's Witness registration as a religious community. They therefore had no option but litigation. They therefore had no what? However, you see, Jehovah's Witnesses had no option but litigation. They didn't care. They couldn't give a rat's ass. They just revoked them as a religion. That's a
Right.
little
Rightly
bit.
so, though.
This is their
Right.
writing. This is
eh,
kind of
right.
tricky writing. You notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Putting it on them. This is Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses felt they had no option but litigation. And however, on April 3rd, 2024, the district court surprisingly ruled in favor of the state and thus validating unprecedented and discriminatory decisions. What? Because it's protecting children, Jehovah's Witnesses? Because
Right.
it's for the rights of children? That's discriminatory? No, they're not stopped from going door to door. They can hold
Right.
marriages at the Kingdom Hall. They just got to go down to the court and register it because they're not
Right.
registered as a religion in the
Right. And
country.
they use the word discriminate, right? When
Loosely.
they themselves discriminate against anybody who is not a part of their religion, or if you come out of the closet, or if
Yeah.
you are a child who commits a serious sin. And that's what Norway wants you to stop doing, is to stop shunning children. That should not be a hard thing to do. But
No,
this is what they're fighting for.
I lost it on my feed.
Oh,
Uh,
I got it on the screen. I could
you want to
continue.
keep reading?
Sure. It says no other internationally recognized religion has faced similar arbitrary proscription by the Norwegian authorities. Our faith community, which comprises approximately 20,000 believers in Norway, is naturally deeply concerned about the situation. Independent academics and human rights experts, both domestically and abroad, are on record as being baffled by these developments. Naturally, Jehovah's Witnesses have appealed. The case is listed for hearing in the Court of Appeal 4-14, 14th February 2025. We believe the outcome would be crucial for freedom of religion or belief in Norway and will have considerable bearing on the country's currently enviable international reputation. We would greatly appreciate a short meeting with you in order to hear your professional opinion on the matter and to receive any recommendations you feel able to offer. Our international delegation will be in Oslo 2-6 of December 2024. And this is available to meet at a convenient time and place, either in person or via video conference. We look forward to an informal and friendly dialogue with you regarding this important matter. Please contact our representative, Andreas Grybowski, for more information and to schedule the meeting. And then they give the telephone number, they give an email, best regards, and then a signature at the bottom. The, the reason why I giggle is because they use these words a lot when we were JWs, like informal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
dialogue. Like this is, it's just the language kills me sometimes. But yeah, they are still fighting this thing in Norway.
Well, what I find interesting, and I guess if I was to give the ombudsman some advice, is stay away from these guys because the last ombudsman that they went after, they sued him, or they went after him, and they used him and made him look bad. That was the hospital when they went to the Supreme Court. It went to the Human Rights Council. Remember on the blood card? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Well,
Yeah.
it all started with that hospital, and they went to the ombudsman. They do that a lot. These ombudsmen. Am I saying that right?
I don't, I mean, I don't
What
know.
is it? How do you
I
say
would,
that?
I'm not the person to ask.
Ombudsman. Ob,
Yeah.
ombudsman, and that's a representative that's supposed to be kind of neutral, handle situations. Before there's a lawsuit, kind of. A hospital doesn't want to get sued, right? So you go to
Mm-hmm.
this party, and they're supposed to kind of represent both parties equally and without
Mm-hmm.
discrimination. So they do that. This is just one of their things. This is kind of a little bit of a kiss ass letter, in my opinion. Hey,
Yep.
we'd like to hear your professional opinion. Well, normally these, once they hear your professional opinion, my advice to this ombudsman is to run. Because once they get your opinion, they're going to drag you through the mud if they don't like your opinion. That's what they do. I'm not being dramatic here. That's what they did in that last human rights court, and they got shot down in human rights court on their blood card.
Yep.
So, yeah, this will be interesting. The appeal is on the. They're trying to build a case here and get someone on their side in Norway, but I guess February 14th we'll be all watching for this big appeal, right? See what happens. There's some more stuff going on in Norway. What else do we have? They lose the appeal. Okay, that's a different one. Jehovah's Witnesses request a meeting with the ombudsman. Okay, we got that. And Jehovah's Witness Australian National Redress Scheme. And we have the First Nations and Australian National Redress Scheme. We have both. Those are from Watchtower. And then we have the government of Norway reply to Watchtower, Jehovah's Witness letter of appeal. Did we look at that one? I think we covered that on last week's news, where the government of Norway rejected Jehovah's Witnesses letter, their
And
appeal.
the expert that they gave, you like you see how you said that in that letter that they have experts abroad and domestic ones, because I was saying, oh, they probably paid this guy to say all the things that he was saying in that letter, because I'm like, why else would he defend this so badly? You must be getting paid by Watchtower.
Zetterman.
Yeah,
That's Zetterman.
exactly. So they were denying that as well. Like we don't, and I'm glad that they did that, because I hate when they use like experts and like they bring these sources that are supposed to be important people, and they're defending a cult. Like I don't care
Mhm.
how many degrees you got, how smart you think you are. You're defending something that literally destroys lives, and defending something that people have committed suicide over. Like that's disgusting. So I'm glad that they shot that down. And this guy was supposedly from the UN out of all places. So
Mhm.
that was really good in my opinion.
Zetterman. Zetterman. He's the chairman on the UN for the children's welfare or something. He's the chairman. He's like
Yeah,
right at the
defending
top.
the Jehovah's Witnesses, where thousands of children are being shunned,
Yeah.
that they couldn't get blood. Maybe some of them have passed away, or
Mhm.
what about the thousands of children who, had to be, closeted, or they weren't accepted by their families, or they were shunned for some stupid reason, and then they ended their lives, short term. Like, it destroys the psyche of the child. So even if you do grow out of this, like I did, right? Like I'm an adult now, people say, oh, just get over it, move on with your life. How? I can't do that. Like your brain is already wired a certain way. So it's 10 times harder for people like us to come out of this cult and like seek therapy or get over it. No, it destroys your mind. And they're putting children through that. That's what gets me.
Mhm. No, it takes years and years and years, and sometimes we can never get those records out of our minds. This indoctrination. We don't get all of it. We can get some chunks of it, but there's little things that'll creep up, and you wonder. And someone will question you. Maybe you think a certain way.
Right.
Maybe you believe that way your whole life. All Jehovah's Witnesses do, and you just think that way. You never replace that record. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about heaven,
Yep.
paradise. Well, two different things, paradise to like heaven. I was talking to my good wife and she was talking about heaven. Well, heaven's like this, heaven's like that, and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things about, as she was growing up, what she was taught heaven would be like. Well, then she says, well, to a Jehovah's Witness, heaven is on earth and it's this and that. And I said, well, I let her talk, I guess, but it's not.
Yep.
That's paradise
Mm-hmm.
on earth. Heaven is, we really don't know what the hell heaven is because there's only a few going there, and we're not
Exactly.
selected because they kind of told us we're dirt. We can't really go there. You got to be the anointed. You got to be like a governing body. Stephen
Right.
Lettish, to go to heaven, right? Like we were not taught what really
Yep.
heaven is. What
Yeah.
is
It's
heaven?
horrible.
You
Yeah.
know, and what's paradise earth? It's so then when we get down to paradise earth, Jesus never taught paradise earth. Why
Hmm.
didn't Jesus teach it? You
That's a
see,
good point, Vern. Very good
Jesus
point.
didn't teach it.
Right.
It's only taught. Well, it's not taught. It's not taught anywhere. It's not a teaching of the Bible. There's a few scriptures in this book of Psalms and maybe
Hmm.
one in Isaiah where it talks about the lamb and the calf eating on a meadow or something. But then
Hmm.
it talks about what is it? Psalms 37 and 29, the scripture that they beat into our minds. And what is that? Psalms 37 and 29. Did you erase that already, Ruby?
No, yeah,
I
I,
forget what it is. This good.
yep.
It's talking about the paradise earth, right?
Uh-huh.
And we'd use that out in the ministry, but it was always a Psalms scripture.
Hmm.
And when you really look at paradise earth, it's a fictional story. It's not real. Jesus never
Okay.
taught it.
So Psalms 37 and verse 20 what?
29.
Okay, 37:29. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. And this is the King James Version Bible I got.
Yeah, yeah. So the righteous will live on the earth and dwell forever upon it.
Okay, so they take that scripture and say that's paradise.
That's paradise earth. But Jesus
Okay.
never taught any of that.
That's very interesting because I was asking the Orthodox the same thing. I was like, we say we keep saying paradise, but I don't think you understand what I mean.
No,
Because paradise for them is different. It's heavenly. And I'm
heaven.
like,
Yeah,
but we don't have the heavenly hope. And then I
yeah,
had to explain that. And they were like, oh no, 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 no. This we gotta break
yeah,
this down.
yeah.
Everything that you think you knew, throw it away. And then we're gonna show you our perspective. And I'm like, yeah, I need to
Like
redefine the word paradise.
if you follow Jesus, you would consider yourself to be one of Jesus' brothers, right? If you
Right.
follow Jesus, that's how it is. If you read the new, because he died for you. He didn't
Right.
just die for the 11 men at the governing body. He died for
Right.
everyone. So everyone that wants to be a Christian would become Jesus' brother. So therefore, at the memorial, what did
Hmm.
Jesus say? Sit down with me at the memorial and drink some wine and eat some bread, right?
Exactly. And do this in
Everyone.
remembrance of me. So we're
Yeah,
supposed to do
everyone.
it because of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody should
So
participate. Yeah.
everyone. And did you know that there's more and more Jehovah's Witnesses participating now in the memorial than ever before?
I
Isn't that odd?
mean,
And
it is.
they're having to talk about this, and they don't want to talk about the numbers. They don't want to tell us where.
Sorry, when you say participating in the memorial, do you mean partaking?
Partaking the
Okay.
emblems.
Thank you.
That's what they mean by participating. Partaking,
Exactly.
drinking the
Partaking
wine,
of it.
eating the bread. Everyone would sit there and just pass it. Like what a silly thing to do. There's your opportunity. We're supposed to be Christians.
Right.
We're Jesus brothers. He laid his
Right.
life down for you and I. We're not the Israelite nation. We're not those. We're Jesus
Exactly.
brothers. We're Gentiles. We were
Hmm.
recruited, and Jesus invited us to this meal with him, and he said, "Drink with me, eat with
Exactly.
me." Every
Right. And
year,
you see
do
what,
this. Or some
yep.
religions do it every Friday or something. But
Yep. And you see how Jay says, he says, you have to look at the Revelation climax book to understand JW Heaven. I remember studying that book when I was a kid. Like I was like 9 or 10. Um,
yeah,
yeah, like a
my good wife
preteen.
says Catholic Church communion is every Sunday
Yes.
at Mass.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Orthodox do the exact same thing, which is why I was very like, I need to know why you do this. So it does make sense to me now. But I know that Jay is joking about the Revelation book, but Revelation, I've learned, almost didn't even make it into the Bible because of all of the things that are in Revelation. Like it's very hard for like to understand or whatever. So back in the day, it almost didn't make it. And then when I learned about that, I was like, oh well, are there other books of the Bible that probably didn't make it? And then that's when
Yes.
I heard about the book of Enoch, and that the book of
Yeah.
Enoch didn't make it, and that it's controversial, or like some people have a lot of different opinions about it, and they say, well, if you want to read that book, you should read it with your priest. And I told my cousin, I was like, we gonna read that book. I am not gonna wait for no priest. We gonna read that book together. So it's interesting.
Mary,
Book of Mary.
Thomas, and
Well, there's a lot of books.
yeah.
Book of Mary, Book of
There's
Thomas.
Yeah,
dozens
there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Now, the Ethiopian
Bible.
religion, the Ethiopian Bible, it has 88 books. The Book of Enoch.
Yeah, I think it has
There are
all of it
some
actually.
religion. Yep, and they all
Mhm.
worship Jesus. They all, I don't think anybody can sit back and judge anybody. I don't
Right.
think we have a license to do that. These are all spiritual people all over the world, and they all have different books that are holy to them, right? And we'll find if we really research these books, like the Ethiopian Bible is the same as ours, 66 books, but it has a bunch of other books which equal 88 books. That I
Right.
guess they pulled them out. They figured that they were controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
and then
I
the Romans, the Roman Catholics took more stuff out. It was, there's just like history, and
Yeah.
it got political, it got messy, and I get it, I understand it, but I want to read those books. Like that's my
Yeah.
thing. Like, oh, I'm so interested to read those books. So, and Thrifty
You know who
just said
took
that.
out the most?
What?
You know who took out the most in the Bible?
Protestants?
J.W. Org.
Yeah.
Definitely,
J.W.
because they are not even Protestants. Like once I realized the
Really?
difference, I was
Like
like,
that Bible is really, really twisted.
horrible.
Yeah.
But
They've
Thrifty
added
said,
so much. Yeah, and
yeah, they
taken
did.
stuff out.
Yeah, you're
We're
right.
always finding stuff in there. Like you remember the thought where, yeah, I'm not even going to get into it. Well, okay, the prostitute, they took that out in John, right? When Jesus showed love to the prostitute and said, who of you are going to cast the first stone? They pulled that whole section out. Like
Really?
11 verses. Yeah, they pulled it all out. I could
I'm
show
gonna have
you.
to look that up.
That's just the biggest, I don't know. They said it was spurious because I did all the research, made some videos on it, and
Oh,
but
okay.
anyways, no one else pulled it out. None of the other religions pulled it out. Only them. I don't know
Interesting.
why. But then if you go onto their website, this is what I like to do. I go onto the JW.org website, I go into their library, and I use in their library, they show about 10 Bibles. They show the Living Bible, the King James Bible, the American Standard Bible. All of those Bibles are actually pretty accurate, except when you get to the JW.org Bible.
I don't get it.
So I will use their own website, and you can teach a Jehovah's Witness how their Bible is so much changed and how it's changed the meanings. Right on their website, you can show them that. Anyways, that's
Good
just
point.
another level of,
Yeah.
I guess, dealing with JW.org. But if we're helping the ones coming out and waking up,
exactly.
they've got to understand that their Bible, that Bible is very inaccurate. If they really want to keep being a Bible student and learning the Bible, they do themselves a favor by just turfing it, getting rid of it, and starting over. My advice: start over. Bible Gateway, that's what I use, a tool, just
Right.
because all the Bibles, So,
Yeah,
anyways, any other news? What do we have? I have a New York thing that's going on.
Sure, go
Court of
ahead.
New York. Yeah, this is a Jehovah's Witness lose the appeal to the Supreme Court of New York to dismiss a CVA baptismal case. Have you heard that one?
No, I have not. Every time we do the news, this is news to me too.
I could read this. I don't want to read. I'm going to let this computer read it because there's some stuff in here.
Okay.
We'll put it on. I couldn't believe some of the stuff I heard here.
24.
Yeah. Can you hear this?
Supreme Court of the State of New York Appellate Division, Second Judicial Department. Decision and order. In May 2021, the plaintiff commenced this action pursuant to the Child Victims Act against, among others, the defendants Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York Incorporated and Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, hereinafter together the moving defendants. The complaint alleged, inter alia, that while the plaintiff was a child participating in activities organized and sponsored by the moving defendants, she was sexually abused by the defendant Elder Vertigo, who was an employee and/or agent of the moving defendants.
You know what I found interesting here in this court case?
Mm-hmm.
They call the Watchtower the moving defendant. The moving defendant.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that before?
I have not.
The move Because they're moving around. They're moving their company, they're moving their liability from one company to another. So, among other things, the Defendants Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and the Christian, because they're all different companies. The Christian Congregation is another company.
Right, exactly.
They're all moving defendants. They're moving around, I guess. Participating in activities organized as sponsored by the moving defendants. So I just thought that was an interesting term, the moving defendant. I'll just carry on here.
Mm-hmm.
Complaint asserted, among other things, causes of action alleging negligent hiring, retention, and supervision of Vertigo and failure to ensure a safe and secure environment for the plaintiff and a demand for punitive damages. The moving defendants moved, inter alia, pursuant to CPLR 3211, A7, to dismiss the causes of action alleging negligent hiring, retention, and supervision and negligent failure to ensure a safe and secure environment and the demand for punitive damages insofar as asserted against them, in an order dated August 20.
Okay, so the moving defendant is a legal term, and it's
Read this.
okay.
Read the blue highlight.
So the moving defendant means a defendant who moves for an order under section 11.051, determining that the plaintiff is a vexatious litigant and requesting security.
So that they're a vicious litigator.
They're a vicious
There
litigator.
you go.
Sounds about right. That
Yeah,
sounds
so-
accurate.
Isn't that something? Thanks for that, good wife.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, well let's hear more on this moving defendant, this vicious litigator.
4th, 2023, the Supreme Court, among other things, denied those branches of the motion. The moving defendants appeal. Here, the complaint alleged, inter alia, that Vertigo was an employee or agent of the moving defendants, that the sexual abuse took place on premises controlled or operated by the moving defendants, and that the moving defendants knew or should have known that Vertigo posed a threat to children. At the pleading stage of the litigation, where the plaintiff's allegations are accepted as true and accorded the benefit of every possible favorable inference, the complaint adequately alleged that the moving defendants owed the plaintiff a duty of care and that the sexual abuse by Vertigo was foreseeable. Accordingly, the Supreme Court properly denied that branch of the moving defendants' motion, which was pursuant to CPLR 3211, A7, to dismiss the cause of action alleging negligent hiring, retention, and supervision insofar as asserted against them. However, the Supreme Court should have granted that branch of the moving defendants' motion, which was pursuant to CPLR 3211, A7, to dismiss the cause of action alleging negligent failure to provide a safe and secure environment, as it was duplicative of the cause of action alleging negligent hiring, retention, and supervision. The moving defendants' remaining contention is without merit.
That was one half of this, and that was the Supreme Court, State of New York. This was the appeal. The Jehovah's Witnesses wanted to get this appeal going, and they didn't. They're the moving defendant. So the next one that they're going to get into is the complaint the jury trial demanded. The Supreme Court, State of New York, the plaintiff, and the Jehovah's Witnesses. So the plaintiff is a 50-year-old resident in New York. Plaintiff was approximately 14 years old at the time of sexual abuse. Now 50 years old, right? So could you imagine, you're 14 when this happens, now you're 50. So the
Yeah.
defendant is the Watchtower, and it's like this girl, like this was brought before elders. So they're getting into a little bit of this. I'm going to let the computer read it. Some of it's pretty graphic. Um, let's just let it read it here. And where are we? I think we're here.
This is the main case page. Complaint. Filed May 20th, 2021.
I think it's just getting through it.
Facts specific to plaintiff. Plaintiff and her family were devout Jehovah's Witnesses. When plaintiff was approximately 14 years old, she began to participate in field service in connection with her family's faith. Field service in the Jehovah's Witnesses faith involves devoting as much time as possible to preaching activities. When children participate in field service, they are usually paired with an elder. Plaintiff was paired with defendant Elder Vertigo. Plaintiff was committed to her faith and excited to be embarking on the important spiritual journey of field service. In the context of field service, the Jehovah's Witness youth and assigned elder spend significant one-on-one time alone together. This was the case with plaintiff and defendant Elder Vertigo. Plaintiff and defendant Elder Vertigo would meet in the early morning, before field service began. Defendant Elder Vertigo would pick plaintiff up in his car, or they would make arrangements to meet at defendant Kingdom Halls. Defendant Elder Vertigo often took plaintiff to breakfast, where they would talk about the day ahead and other things going on in plaintiff's life. Plaintiff felt special, and believed it was an honor that defendant Elder Vertigo sought her out so often. Defendant Elder Vertigo worked to gain plaintiff's trust and cultivate a special bond between them, in order to render her more vulnerable to his eventual sexual abuse.
Okay, so far you got it all so far. This
Yep,
elder,
this is horrible. This
isn't it?
is okay, you know what? I gotta give my mom a little bit of credit here because she was a strict mom. I always say this, but this is
Mm-hmm,
why. This is exactly why. Is because there are snakes in these kingdom halls. And she can
mm-hmm,
admit that. And that's why she never allowed me to go anywhere if she wasn't there or if she wasn't right next to me. So a lot of other people, not to be offensive, but they're gullible or they're just naive and they think that the elders are these special people that have Holy Spirit. And that's why the only reason why you would let your kid be with an elder is because you believe that.
mm-hmm,
Whereas my mom, she didn't care who you were. So thank God I had a mother like that. But I feel
mm-hmm.
so bad because people actually do believe that the elders have Holy Spirit, and
Yeah,
and it is a privilege if an elder takes interest in your child because it'll show like your child's more spiritual.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
get privileges, and this elder is gonna, this is the door, like this is the man who's gonna get you there for all the privileges that you want. So that's why these men are so drunk on power and popularity because being with an elder or an elder's kid, you're popular. That's it.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what can happen, and I'm so glad that my mom was strict in that way.
Yeah, this is crazy. I uh, I remember my kids going out with Elder Vertigo. I don't know if that's a fake name, Vertigo, but Elder Righteous, the book study overseer. He used to take my kids out, my daughter. You know, Fortunately, nothing happened, but he's a pedophile. Anyways, let's go. Like it's amazing how, and okay, here's what I thought was interesting in this whole case. Like the previous part of it where they tried to get out of it, uh, the court are saying, look, you guys hired these elders. Like they're treating Watchtower, you guys hired these elders. They're in your employment. They're under your jurisdiction,
Right,
your elders book,
exactly.
your instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're getting paid or not, they're under their employment and their control. So that's why Watchtower is being named on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's being named on this suit. But let's carry on. I'll show. It'll talk about the rest of it here.
Defendant Elder Vertigo's sexual abuse always took place in his car. Defendant Elder Vertigo sexually abused plaintiff from approximately 1984 to 1986. Defendant Elder Vertigo continued to seek plaintiff out and sexually abused her on a regular basis. Defendant Elder Vertigo was the one to counsel and prepare plaintiff for her baptism at 16 years old. During the baptismal ceremony, Defendant Elder Vertigo dipped plaintiff underwater. While she was underwater, Defendant Elder Vertigo fondled plaintiff.
That's it. Can you believe
That's
that?
crazy. That's
Well,
crazy.
I have
No,
never heard
bro.
anything like this.
Oh my, I'm in shock. Not, I would have punched the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I am not the one. And okay, you see, that's another thing. They said in the 80s. So now I understand. You know what I mean? Like, it was a different time period. People trusted a little bit more back then. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't on Earth during that time. But my mom was a teenager during those years. And for her, that's how she made it seem. Like everybody was so trustworthy. They trusted the brothers at the hall. There was nothing that they can do, especially the Spanish congregation.
Yeah.
Oh, they were
Mhm.
so like tight, really tight, that I understand this whole scenario, but not me, bro. I would have knocked him out. If that was me, forget about it. Oh, hell
That's
no.
now. I was looking at the title here. To dismiss CVA baptism case. Is that what the CVA means? What he did in the pool?
CVA? I don't know what that
You know,
is.
we
I've
hear of
never heard that.
CSA,
Right,
right? Child
right,
sexual
right.
abuse. Well, this is child V abuse
Hmm.
baptism case. This is something brand new. I've never heard of this before, but it's right on the title there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. That's what's going on. That's going on in New York State, in the same state and that's what's dangerous for Watchtower. This is the same
Mm-hmm.
state as their Watchtowers in, and this is why
Yep.
they can actually get the leaders into court
Oh yeah, and
easier.
that's another thing I was gonna say. For an organization that doesn't like higher education and doesn't like to take your brother to court, they really know how to do appeals and litigate and get lawyers.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, they have all the whistles to fight a case. That's another thing that gets me. Like, how do they're so on the defense, right? They never want to take accountability, but then they don't
Mhm.
want you as an average JW to do the same thing that they're doing. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
horrible.
yeah, it's hypocritical. They're very
Exactly. There you go.
litigious, very litigious. They don't, yeah. Anyways, they kind of changed their elders book. I was reading, I finished up the elders book the other night,
Mhm.
and now it looks like you can kind of take your brother to court.
Really?
It kind of looks
Oh
like
man.
that in there. Like civil matter, they're saying, yeah, you can go to court. Take it doesn't say that these brothers are going to do the court deal, do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they're changing a bit here and there, and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
be printing new elders books. Now, the next one here is I haven't looked at it, so it's Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Australian National Redress Scheme. Have you seen anything on that?
I
New?
have not. No, this is news to me as well. This is all live.
Okay, so this is kind of new news, I guess. Let's just kind of listen in. Thanks to watching Watchtower. We'll take a run at this, see what it
National
says.
Redress Scheme. Issue date, Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Media release. The Joint Standing Committee on the Implementation of the National Redress Scheme has today tabled its report, following its inquiry into the operation of the National Redress Scheme. The report Redress, Journey to Justice was agreed to by all committee members. Committee Chair, Senator Katrina Billick, said, "We acknowledge what the scheme has achieved for many survivors, as well as the hard work and effort that goes into administering the scheme. However, the committee's unanimous findings have highlighted barriers to accessing the scheme, which need to be addressed to ensure no further harm is done to survivors of institutional child sexual abuse. The deputy chair, Senator Dean Smith, said, "We thank the many members of the public who bravely shared their experiences with the committee. You have been heard, and the report's recommendations reflect your vital insights." The report makes 29 recommendations, which focus on the accessibility, performance, and effectiveness of the scheme. This includes whether the scheme is meeting the needs of victims and survivors who are seeking redress, whether those needs will be met before the scheme is due to cease in 2028, and whether the scheme fairly and accurately assesses the needs of each survivor seeking redress. The committee has also recommended improving the accessibility of quality legal advice and support services for survivors of institutional child sexual abuse seeking redress. The committee urges all named institutions and governments to work together to continue national redress scheme reform. The committee sincerely appreciates the contributions made by survivors to the inquiry. The full report of the inquiry can be found on the committee's inquiry webpage. Joint Standing Committee on Implementation of the National Redress Scheme. Inquiry into the operation of the National Redress Scheme.
There's more.
Report. Redress. Journey to Justice. Report, November 2024.
Kind of showing
Inconsistent and unfair redress outcomes. Jehovah's Witnesses.
That's what we wanted to see. So it kind of shows the whole, kind of gives
Possible
us,
false evidence given.
maybe we'll just listen. Probably we could,
Yeah, we're gonna have to download that document and see what page 111 says.
that's what I think. And read what Jehovah's Witnesses say. So that's what we could do maybe for next week. This has come out now, this redress scheme in Australia, New Zealand. This would apply to New Zealand, I believe, too, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm not
Australian.
sure.
It's the Australian National Redress Scheme. So this
Okay.
is Jehovah's Witnesses are listed, and this is what they're telling them to do. Basically, they have to apologize and do some payouts.
Yeah. Wow.
Pardon me?
I think the result of the arc.
The results of the arc is what's going to come out here. Is what's coming out. So this will be upcoming news. It's just starting
Mm-hmm.
again. Australia, it's been going on for a long, long time. And it
Mm-hmm.
looks like it's going to go on until 2028.
Oh wow.
So we're another 4 years. This is going to go on for, giving all the people a chance to, and it looks like they're hiring lawyers. They're helping with legal
Mm-hmm.
fees, or getting lawyers involved, and it's hard to start suing the Watchtower. But
Yeah.
this is just one country. I think this is just the start of a domino effect. And I think these lawsuits will, in fact, bankrupt most of these religions. That's what I think.
Oh yeah. Well, I know that we're gonna move on to an entertainment in about 5 minutes. So the last thing I just wanted to share, and I know that Rick Fearon shared this as well, but it was actually posted on Twitter. And the tweet says, "Beloved author Jim Penton, who passed away on October 4th, 2024, was one of the
Hmm.
first JWs to write about his waking up. This article dives into his remarkable life and his writings on exposing the Jehovah's Witness organization. So I wanted to let everybody know that if they want to read that article, go to avoidjw.org,
Hmm.
and this is what it looks like. And I don't know who this is. So this is a real OG apostate in the
Okay,
community.
can I help you out here?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know where I used to live, Alberta?
Yeah.
Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta. Have you ever looked at? I showed you on a map, I think, but it's
I
kind of the
think so.
western part of Canada, Alberta. He
Mhm.
lives in the very bottom of Alberta. We lived in Edmonton, kind of the middle.
Mm.
He
Mhm.
lives in the bottom in a place called Lethbridge. It's a windy
Mhm.
city. But his son, well, he's a university guy, right? And he's an elder, and he's one of the anointed, according to the Jehovah's Witness doctrine.
Oh
Anyways,
wow.
he's one of the anointed, taking the emblems. And his son wants to go to university, be like dad, right?
Mhm.
And he even wrote a book in favor of Jehovah's Witnesses, and they liked it. And
Mm.
so then his son wants to go to university, and that threw the whole stink. Oh no, your son can't. You can't be an elder if your son's going to higher education. And so he
Mhm.
said bullshit, and he quit. Half the congregation split, went with him, half of
Mhm.
them. I think he started a new church up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he got labeled as a big apostate all over higher education. Like
Wow.
Jehovah's
Yeah.
Witnesses, it's a cult. We all know it's a cult when they don't want you to get higher when they start dictating your education. And this is why I wonder about Norway. Are they going to talk
Mhm.
about this, how they dictate about children going to higher education? They punish the mother. The father can't have privileges if his kid's going to higher education. He has to be
Right.
deleted as an he can't even run the microphones, the father,
Yep.
if
Right.
his kid's going to higher education. He's really disciplined severely, made to look like a criminal in the organization. And that's what Penton was fighting. He was fighting
Mm.
for, why can't our kids get higher education? Yeah, and
Wow.
he became what they call an apostate. Here's a guy that really loves Jesus, really loves to do what's right, and they call him an apostate. So of course we're all,
Wow. That's
but
amazing.
he's a
And
good
this article is so good. It shows his book, the one you talked about,
man. Hmm.
all of his publishing, all his writings here. Wow, that's so interesting. I'm gonna look more into him when I have some free time. So I just wanted to share that with everybody because I was like, oh wow, this looks like another like Ray France type of
Yeah,
status level. Like
yeah.
what? This is amazing.
Yeah, and the Watchtower is afraid of highly educated people because they can easily see that Watchtower is a fraud. A Watchtower
Right.
is actually apostate, is what it
Is
is.
Dinah down there?
And so,
Yep.
okay, well, that's great. You have some more news for us there? Dinah's
That
with
I
us?
think
What?
that's it for now because you
Oh,
said you have some
Where is she?
entertainment
Oh,
coming
no,
with me.
Dinah is here.
yeah.
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 Okay, so we have our guest on. So here she is, Dinah. Hello, Dinah. How are you?
I'm sorry. Hey guys.
How you
I'm doing good.
doing?
How's everybody?
So where are you coming to us from?
My
Which part of the
closet.
country?
Oh,
Excuse me.
Pennsylvania.
I gotta do a
Hanover.
major.
Oh, that's awesome. How was your Thanksgiving? Happy Thanksgiving.
It was good. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It was a roller coaster, I think, of emotions. So a lot.
Yeah, for me too. I'm not really used to it like most of us, right? Like we always say that,
Hmm.
but I'm even less used to it. Like I don't cook, I don't do nothing. I'm like I gotta go out of my way. You know what I mean? Like to do things. So it was hectic in my house too. So I totally get you.
Well, I cried like in the morning because I was cooking at like 6 o'clock in the morning, exhausted. And it was like when I envisioned, Thanksgiving, families were cooking together, and then it was just like family, and I'm like, okay, I don't have that. It's just me, and I'm all by myself. And okay, yeah, it just was over
Right.
for like a half hour.
Right. So
It's like
next
that's
year we're
okay.
gonna do better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
next year I'm gonna plan it. Next year I'm gonna make it more like cozy and homey and get the kids involved. Because I know you have two daughters, right?
I
Two young
do.
girls.
Hmm.
Yeah, you gotta get them baking. I think baking is so much fun. So if you could
Yeah.
get them interested in that, my daughter does it with me.
Oh, we make cookies. She can't wait until now.
Nice.
Now we have to make. Now it was Christmas cookies. Now
Hmm.
we got to make Halloween cookies, and we got to make Easter cookies, and we got to make Happy New Year cookies, and
That's
we have to
awesome.
decorate with sprinkles. Like it's a whole thing.
That's good. That's awesome. Vern is back.
So I'm on our Discord channel, and I finally got to the top of Dinah Lost,
Hmm.
Dinah's channel. So there's a ton of information. If you're not on Discord yet, you can sign up to Discord. We'll hopefully put a link in after the
Hmm.
show on the about of this video. The more, we'll just put a link in there.
Hmm.
And the links are only good for 7 days. So you get into Discord, and once you're in there, you can check out all the creators. And Dinah is one of the creators. She has a site here called Dinah Lost. And
Hmm.
we're right at the top of it, Dinah. Is there anything you want us to show the audience tonight? You got a ton of stuff. Um, Anything you want me to click onto? You want me to go to the end? Some of
Yeah,
your
I don't
latest
know.
work? There's a lot of
Oh,
stuff here.
you should play.
Like
You
you're
should
very
play my
creative.
song. You should play my song. The one that's "Here I Am, Send Me." I really like that one.
Okay. Is that at the end?
It was up at
Is
the top. I think it was green.
up at the top. Okay. Dinah Lost. It's not that one.
Mm-mm.
Freedom is not this one. Here I am. Send me. There it is.
Yeah, that gave me goosebumps inside when I finished this one.
Okay. Well, we're gonna play this whole song. This is it, right? I'm
Mhm.
gonna turn it up. Okay. Here we go.
And it's just poor on me, so forgive my voice.
Okay. Is it loud? Can you hear it?
Some show false hope, some pain and lie. There's no escape now, try to find. We'll go and clear the blinded eyes. We'll see the truth and reach the sky. Here I am, send me. I'll shine the light and set them free. No greater joy could there be found. Here I am, send me, send me. They'll make the claim that they're divine, but control and fear are their design. Some worship leaders made of flesh, some paint themselves as above the rest. Who'll tell the captive what's in store? who one of manipulation's goal. Oh, here I am, send me. I'll sound the alarm and set them free. No greater joy could there be. Here I am, send me, send me. Today the free ones rise and stand, because the truth will be their guiding hand. With open hearts they seek to find the freedom that brings peace of mind. We'll go with hope to those confined, who help them break the chains of mind. Oh, here I am, send me. I'll lead them out all patiently. No greater joy could there be, friends. Here I am, send me, send me.
That was great. Thanks for that, Ruby. You have a beautiful voice, Dinah.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
beautiful voice.
I forgot, like, I hadn't watched it in a while. I forgot about the collage at the end. I love that. Because
There's a lot of work in
that
that
was all the
video too.
people. That was all the people that were kind of like in front in front of me, while I was in that process at that stage. And then I knew it had the protest in there, and that's because I was at the protest, which was a huge deal because I don't come out of my shell very often.
So let me ask you, Dinah, does your creative side, writing poetry and singing and songs, how has that been for you? Has that been therapeutic?
Oh, absolutely. Like I think what inspires me the most is when I'm crying or when something, really makes me happy, when I'm really like emotional on the high ends. That's when I'm like, ooh, I should write a poem about this. So that's what I get and I get all my tears out then. So it's like, but even reading my stuff, watching my stuff, I still cry. I'm still an emotional mess.
Yeah, that was
Now,
amazing though.
Oh, thank you.
you have a lot of other stuff on here. You have love. Um, you talk about that. Is that a song or is that a poem? The love
You
one. Remember?
Those were just quotes. I think those were
Okay.
I was feeling like, I like seeing quotes during the day, so I just threw some quotes together. So that was just some things put together. And then I would just post poems as I see, like I would go on Facebook and I follow a lot of groups. And when I would see people's stories and I would see people's comments, ones that would really inspire me positively and negatively is usually where I would come up with these poems. And this, whew, that was a tough time. I was moving out, and so I had to sift through a decade of depression to pack. So things that I, hadn't looked at, and so I created that graduation picture from one of the dance, or no, it was a wedding, because weddings were big deals because we got to dress up. So it was kind of like our version of being able to go to a dance.
Yep.
So, we all we went all out, got the big fancy dresses. And so that was from a wedding. So I just put a cap and gown on it and made my own because I didn't go to my high school graduation because I thought I was going to graduate college. So it was really my own fault. But it was just, it took me back to reasons why I did things the way I did them when I was younger. And it was just like, I should have taken that accomplishment, because I didn't feel accomplished, because nothing I ever did was good enough. So it was just like high school graduation, yeah, whatever, big deal. And that was kind of how it felt, because I had to go to high school. It wasn't something that
Right.
was necessary for being a Jehovah's Witness. And that's that was my identity. I was one of
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So it kind of took all of my decisions and all of my direction, looking back. And I'm like, well, this is where I felt like I wasn't in control of my own life.
So
Right.
so you say life happened and plans didn't unfold. College dreams deferred, a future untold. But still I pushed on through the darkest night, seeking solace, a glimmer of light. I thought I had found it, a love that would last, a partner to heal, a heart that would vast. But now I feel alone in this journey of mine, a path that's unwinding, a soul that's divine. I'll hold on to hope, to the strength I've found, embrace my worth, let my spirit resound. No longer held back by the chains of my past, I'll rise up and let my voice be heard at last.
Oh, will make me cry. Just
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Dinah. Now looking back, are you able to recollect all of those memories and now recognize them as accomplishments? Like recognize that you made it through something, you graduated from something, like you overcame something. Like can you do that now? Now that you're older and wiser, and now you're like XJW, and you've moved on, relatively from where you were in the past.
I mean, yeah, definitely, because that's why I made the picture, because that was kind of me celebrating my graduation and saying, that was a big deal, especially going to high school, going to school, public school as a Jehovah's Witness was not easy for me. I hear other people have had okay experiences, but I was struggling.
Oh yeah, me too. I know exactly how you feel, and that's why I wanted to homeschool so bad, because I didn't want to deal with it. It was an escapism. I didn't want to go to school, and I skipped my middle school graduation too. Like I know exactly how you feel, because I used to do the exact same thing. But now that I made my own graduation pictures as well. I feel like me and you are right on the same like page right now, because I showed my graduation picture on another stream, and that picture is the only one that has survived through all the drama, because I used to throw away everything. Like I threw away my clothes, I threw away my books, I threw away everything, because that wasn't me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that has survived. And I look at that picture like, oh my God, thank God I took this picture. Thank God I did something for myself, because at least I could look back and I could change that bad negative energy and change it now to a positive memory that I accomplished something. I was like 2 years late on graduating high school, and I was on my second kid, and I was still in high school. It was horrible. So I was like, thank God I could change this to a positive memory.
Mhm. It's
So
everything
Dinah,
for
you have a couple more songs here. Is
Oh,
this Life
that one's
Without
good
Them at
too.
Last?
I
Do
like
you
that
like
one
that
too.
one?
Hmm.
And what about this other one, Heart of Stones? Is that another take on something? Is that kind of a song?
Some people say it's dark. It might be depressing. I don't know.
Well, and then we're gonna
I mean,
play
it
this.
was good.
We'll
I
play
I
this one.
really I really liked it, but it just based
Yeah.
on other people's commentary.
Okay. Well, you know, everyone can be their judge, I guess. I don't know. Being a JW is dark, so
Well,
what do you
that's
write
what
about?
I mean. To me, I was like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's, you can't have light without dark. So,
Yeah.
how to understand the light, you have to understand the dark, and that's how I understand it or feel, anyways.
You're
My
And then you have
absolutely
one
right.
Shun No More 2024. This is another song or something.
You know what? I can't remember. It
Okay.
started to get. I think we're getting later in the. Yeah, I was moving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go back up here and play this one. Let's do this one. Let's see.
Can you see with your mind's eye life without judgmental gazes? Sorrow has passed, peace at last, no more push, fear, and shame. See with joy of heart. Live for the day when you say life without them at last. In those days, truth was alright. Elders kept from your plain sight. No more my names, no more pain, free from the mental drain. Sing out with joy of heart, you have a brand new start. Live for the day when you say life without them at last. Hope before all, we'll stand tall, not held down by men's coldness. Lift our past veil, we'll prevail. Leaving's your greatest gain. Sing out with joy of heart. You have a brand new start. Live for the day when you say life without them at last.
That was that was wonderful. Now, I think this is great. We haven't got any copyrights yet. We could keep going.
Oh my goodness. You know,
Well,
I was gonna say, Dinah, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you,
Mhm.
with your talent, with your writing, poetry, maybe somebody can make you a beat. Do you think that you can have an original song? Or have you done that already?
I haven't done it yet because I've been too chicken.
Oh, no, Dinah, you need to do something original. Stop giving your talent to this JW crappy music. It's
Oh
it's
no,
it's,
but
it's beautiful,
well,
but if you got a
Heart of
beat,
Stones is actually, I think that's Nora Jones.
Is this your own?
And that's from a Nora Jones.
Don't know why it wasn't right. Let myself inside the dark. Don't know why I'm stuck with you. When I saw the dawn, wish that I could fly away. Instead of rising, I to
So Vern, you muted yourself and I can't hear it on the StreamYard end. Okay, now I can hear it. That's weird for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, that's really weird. Before we could hear it, but as soon as you muted yourself, can't hear nothing.
Really? Okay, now can you hear it? I'm going to mute myself again. Let me know.
Yep.
As I cross the crying sea, brings me down onto my knees. But even with his heart of stone, I'll stand up to sing this song. My heart is drenched in lies. Love heals all in time. Oh, ever. Something has to lift the tone. Don't know why I wasn't strong. But now I fight the urge to run. Should I know why I wasn't strong? Might know why I wasn't strong. I now know why I wasn't strong.
That's so funny. That standing ovation. Little cute.
I love it. I love it. I love
Okay,
that voice.
so we have time for maybe one more.
Yeah, one more.
One more. So which one is it, Dinah? You're the star. In the broad realms of belief, we search for truth, a quest that's personal yet shared in youth. Now, you have a Stephen Lett one. What's that one about? Spooky humor?
Yeah, it was fun. Me having fun during October here.
So you could play that one, Shun No More, 2024. There's a bunch up here. These are just poems, right? These are the poems.
Yeah,
There's this one, Heart of Stones. We just read
that's the
that
one
one?
we just did. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did that one. So Shun No More 2024 or Stephen Lett Spooky Season Humor. What is it?
I don't know. Do the spooky season.
Spooky season.
Sometimes you'll hear people say, little baby, look at that little angel. But more accurate would be to say, look at that little enemy of God.
To say, look at that little enemy of God.
My little enemy of God. I can't help myself.
That was great. That was great. You know what? We're going to do the other one. We got time. We're going to do this one too. Let's see what it
Hey
says.
guys, I just wanted to do a quick video. There's been so many things I've been wanting to do and talk about different topics that I haven't gotten to touch on, because if my life was in a book, it would have to be a series of books. There's so much that went on in my life. Just like one person's life, too much drama. For those of you who haven't seen my videos before, here's a quick rundown. Born into a third generation Jehovah's Witness family, and they had a family member that was a sex offender, and they knew this before I came around. He was disfellowshipped on his second offense, and then he was reinstated
I
later.
remember how
No
long
one
this
was
was.
allowed to know why people were
I don't want to torture you
disfellowshipped.
guys.
So it wasn't. I didn't know that
Oh,
there was
okay.
anything to be
Wasn't too
worried
bad.
about. And
That's this. This one's about your life story, kind of a summary of your life story. Oh, you're muted, Dinah.
I was just
There you go.
just talking to myself over here.
Oh, okay.
No, it's good.
No, that's good. That was your life story, and people can come and see it on YouTube now. What
Yeah,
else?
I think
What,
that
oh,
was
here's
that
some
was to
other ones.
introduce, it was like trying to be a quick introduction, saying I was going to be at the protest. So that was what that was, I think.
Yeah.
Like I said, all that was a blur.
What about this one, Aligning Journeys?
Hi, Dinah. Hey, hun,
Hi.
you've come so far in so little time, girl. Just keep going.
Thank you.
And seriously, it's my heart goes out, and thank you for sharing. I
Thank you.
can't tell you how many people you help. Just keep being brave and sharing, and it's just awesome. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Is the audio coming through on your end? Okay, can you hear it?
Yep, you can hear it.
So this wasn't. If you started over, I can read it. This was just music. It didn't have. But I can read it as it goes. Aligning journeys, we come across words that resonate deep. Empowerment builds the first steps we keep. Acknowledging others, experience past, seeking knowledge that will forever last. Only minutes a day, life's moments of grace, learning and growing, a courageous pace. Intimidating fields we dare to defy, speaking out our stories we dare to apply. Inspiring others, unique paths we choose, free from manipulation and judgment abuse. Resistance met, but together we stand tall, welcoming all who have left the hall. Changing the cycles, dependencies broken, empowering youth, confidence awoken. Small steps count, truth collected in time. Uplifting an alliance of those kept in line. Your story matters and deserves to be heard. Sharing experiences, now silence is stirred. Have an amazing day. Get to the last two. But yeah,
Well, that's just great.
Perfect place to end. Well done, Dinah. Yay.
Yep. That was. So yeah, join us on Discord, everyone, and you can see the whole list of Dinah's poems. You can go on to Dinah's site. She has a YouTube site. We should have really pulled that up.
Colty shared it in the chat.
Shared in the chat?
Nice, thank you, Colty.
Y'all,
Okay,
was I muted that whole time?
No, we heard you.
It was a beautiful reading.
I was muted, and I was like, oh no. It's like, did I just do that muted? Okay, I'm retarded, y'all. Just ignore me.
No, we're all good. Okay, so well, that's great. And for everyone else out there, anybody has some talent, they want to get involved, send us an email, and we will put you on the Friday night show. Here's our email address, just in case you never got it at the first. So just send us a quick email, or you can get a hold of my good wife on Discord as well. And she's the one that actually arranges everything. So it was certainly a privilege to have Dinah on.
And thank you.
SJW community.
Thank you, Dinah.
Beautiful voice.
I know Fran
to take that to the next level.
She said, check your Discord. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Fran, for getting the message to Dinah.
Here's one. We had, you may know him. His name is Jonathan, ex-Witness Awake. Do you know Jonathan? Dinah? Now, there's a plug for you. You and Jonathan do a duet.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, my goodness.
That would be good.
That would be like Beauty and the Beast.
It would be. throw compassionate apostate in there, and you got a threesome.
You know, the doctors call me obese all the time, so I guess
No, that is
Okay.
awesome.
Well, we thank everyone for being with us tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruby.
Yes. Thank you
coming
so much,
on.
Dinah, for coming on. I love this
Absolutely.
entertainment segment. Please
know.
It's-
content so you can come on here more often.
Uh-huh. Oh, I've got a song real quick. I've got a song, Witness Paradise. It's all finished from Gangsters Paradise.
next week we have openings.
Good.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we're going to say goodnight to everyone. We love you all. See you next week.
Bye.
Keep
See you
living
on
your life with
Discord.
love.
Oh, there we go.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.